Hey guys, welcome back to Burnout's Hot Rod Shop. On this episode, I think this is going to be the third episode for the holiday week haul. We're going to look at some wrenches that I picked up, a few other tools, and a grouping of model cars, or diecast cars that I got to. There was one in there I wanted to get, so I bid on a lot. I think it was $10 or $15, something like that, for the lot. Now, one thing you will notice is I'm here in the new area. If you watched the Fix It Up Friday last week, this is the new area. The video footage we're going to be looking at is still in the old area. Little spoiler alert, I filmed all 8 episodes, just bam, 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 one after another. It took a few hours and knocked it all out. So my intros, outros get done after the fact. And that's why you see me in the new area, but then you'll see me over in front of the Chrysler in the old area for the video itself. I did, if you watched that video last week and get a little bit of the shop tour, I did, don't want to blind you, but I did get lights up. Those did come in. I've got 2 of them over the workbench area. Put my victory flag up over here, and I got 3 lights over this area. One that runs right above the wire wheel and buffer. Still need to get the buffer pad swapped out. But one that goes over the wire and the buffer, and then the 2 that go over the bench. So check out this episode. This holiday haul was definitely a good time, and lots of really cool stuff in here. Enjoy. We're going to take a look at all this stuff real quick. See what all we've got here. So here we have some pliers. We'll hit the non-wrench stuff first. These are Fullers. Pretty good shape. Real nice set of Bokers. Nice and tight. You can read them really well. Got this little screwdriver. It needs cleaned badly. It was sitting in the bottom of a toolbox that was full of melted grease. But I know that patterning. I just can't remember what it is offhand. But we'll get it cleaned up and see what it is. This one's just a little fingertip Phillips. These are always handy to have. And I think I lost my last one. Got a pair of spark plug gappers. One is the gapper. The other one says CTA, but they're the same product. You can see where just the nameplate was changed out. And then we have this pretty blue Exolite that looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's not all beat up. It's Torx. It's a T27. So this is one of the more common sizes on a Harley Davidson. But that blue, I think, is just going to shine it pretty. It's the first blue Exolite that I've got. And then we've got a Stanley USA. We move on over here to these guys. These are all Barkalow Buffaloes. This one is unmarked. You can tell it's the same as the one 2 wrenches above it. The others are all Barkalow Buffalo marked. As we go in my Barkalow grouping. Next we have these. Let's see if I can find it here. And it's a nice pretty old industrial. There's another one of that style that's unmarked. Here's another one of that style. Again, unmarked. another one. Kind of hard to see, but it says USA and Industrial on it. There, it's in focus. So Industrial was really good at making that style with the points. If you see those with the points and they say select steel, that is Industrial. But they made them for brands like Western Auto, those type of suppliers as well. So they just didn't put their name on them. Here, in the realm of unmarked, I think. Yeah, forged steel. Nothing on that side. But these are Bridgeports. Once you know a Bridgeport, they got the real pointy ends. They kind of poke your fingers when you touch them. They used that style as one of the many styles. They also use this style. The two pockets instead of single. And this one is also a Bridgeport, Forged USA. I thought this one said Bridgeport. I'm not seeing it. But that is also a Bridgeport. And then, helps if I flip it over the right way. Nice little McKeegan hatch. One lonely little stamped Sears ignition wrench. Like 7/16 3/8. Made in USA Sears. Don't see those very often. A lot of the Sears stuff was made in Japan. And here we have a Dunlap. Someone had painted red. And a little older Dunlap. Quickly get moved through these for you guys. Here we have a nice little Bonnie 27F. You can see the B in the shield. And then in with that Bonnie family. Get up where my eyes can see it. Once I find it, I can show it to you. This one's real hard to see, but that's also a Bonnie screwdriver. You can see there where it says Bonnie. Oh, here we have a super wrench. Don't see the Williams script on it, but it's there somewhere. And then here's another pre-super wrench, or not named super wrench, Williams. You got the W in the diamond, USA. Here we have a Proto manifold wrench. 7/16 and a half. And then a Proto professional 3/8 extension, 6-incher. These are Hinsdale double box ends. I don't think I have anything Hinsdale. Not real familiar with the brand, but definitely cool. I like cool double box ends. This one is a Spearpoint. Another brand I've not seen or heard of before. We flip it over, it's made in England. So I don't get a lot of the made in Europe stuff. So definitely kind of a neat find. Turn these the right way. I found these. An auto kit. These I picked up at a restore. I think I paid $1 for the long one and 50 cents a piece for the shorter ones. I always kind of like that style of wrench. Just kind of looks cool the way they do the box end. In the vein of automotive, Here are two Mercedes-Benz wrenches. And people always like to collect the automotive stuff, so those will end up being for sale eventually. Here we have a double box Westline, forged in USA. These little battery clamps are always kind of cool, little pullers. Seems to work pretty well, and it is a made in Japan. People always like those. These guys are both Blue Point. This poor Cornwall looks like it's seen the war. Oh, we'll get it cleaned up and see how it looks. Got this nice little snap-on 11/32. And another snap-on. I forget what that style of wrench is called. Got that deep pocket. Drawing a complete blank on those. I know my dad had a set. Still does have a set. I'm sure they're buried in his toolbox somewhere. Here we have a nice little Volchek. It's starting to accumulate quite a few Volcheks actually. This is a pretty meaty chisel right here. Typical mushrooming. It's a Blackhawk. Flip it over, you can actually read it. Typical mushrooming. Some nicks in the tip, nothing that can't be ground out. That will probably go in my personal collection. Now while we're with Blackhawks, here's a 9/16. These guys are just generic drop forged wrenches. I was never a fan of these old, I call them balloon style wrenches. To me, they just look like they're made kind of like balloon animals, the way they're round and stuff. But as I've been cleaning them up, these things just clean up so beautifully. Oh, that one does have a mark, it's an S. I'll have to look up and see what that S is. That one aside for a mental note. No marking on this side. Okay, nothing on those faces. And nothing on this side. Kind of a generic. Another one. Like I was saying, these things have they've grown on me. I like cleaning them. They're dirty as all get out when you're cleaning them. Kick stuff all over you, but they're cool. This one just says made in USA. It honestly reminds me kind of a Bridgeport, but the ends are all wrong, so it's not a Bridgeport. And another drop forge. This one's nice and clean. Made in USA. A little light cleaning and that will be in really good shape. Pull that one aside and look at it. We have a nice double box New Britain, 5/8, 9/16. Let's see, on to some of the miscellaneous ones. I had one of those. This one's an Allen 14mm. Made in USA. And a lot of the Allen stuff you see, I'm not sure. This one is a Pencraft, which I've got some Pencraft stuff. It was JCPenney's brand, but it's a made in USA one. A lot of the Pencraft I have is made in Japan. Here we have a nice little Fulton. This one is a Powercraft. Almost rubbed off of there. And this one is a nice little Upland Forge. Next grouping, we have a couple of East Coast. So we got a 1/2 inch and a 3/8. I always like this style with the dart, single dart. This one, drop forged, made in USA. This one is a real crusty drop forge, made in USA. These I just pulled out. They were initially in the undesirables, but it's nearly a full set. So I'm sure someone would want these. They're the from India. The Gadors from India. So almost a full set. I'm sure a few dollars. Somebody would be happy to have those. Here we've got a Thorson, 13/16. This one has definitely seen better days. The chrome's all peeled off, but we'll get her cleaned up and we'll see how she looks. And this style of Thorson, I always like these. Look like the snap-ons. And the last two in this batch, we have an SK Wayne, 5/8. Somebody did some grinding on the head of that for some reason. They didn't really make it any thinner. And even some on the body. And an SK Wayne. This one's a 5/16 6-point. But again, it's like someone did some grinding on it, make it clear someplace. Then they put their initials GR on that face. So we'll see. That's the wrenches. All these will go into a bath. Get cleaned up, have a date with the wire wheel, and we'll see what they come out looking like at some point. Now we'll take a peek at this interesting lot of cars and a couple miscellaneous red pieces. So start off, we've got this concept car, General Motors concept car called the Nomad. It's supposed to be like almost like a Corvette wagon retro look. Kind of cool. I worked in automotive at the time that General Motors made that, and I thought it was cool to get to see the original one. I was a Tier 1, 2 for GM and Chrysler, as well as a lot of the imports. So I did get to see that one in development. Next up is a Chevy Cheyenne pickup. Right, Cheyenne or Apache? I don't remember. It's the integrated bed. Cheyenne, Apache, Cameo. I can't remember. In case you don't know, if you don't know me, I'm not a big Chevy guy. Not much of a GM guy, although there are a few GMs that I really like. Someone wanted to give me a 72 Buick Riviera, it would definitely get a spot in a garage. Just saying. And next up, we got this Accord 810. And you've got the Chevy SSR and 2 C6 Corvettes. But the reason I got this lot was this guy right here. This is a 1946 to 1948 Chrysler. I guess this one would be a Town and Country because it's the Woody, and it's in tan. Now they did make these the actual car in 1949 for a few months, and they called them a 49 First Series. Now, the reason I got this, we'll just pan over here, is because I've got buried underneath my mountain of stuff in the same color a 4-door hardtop that I've lowered and customized. So I thought it would be cool to have this in the same color. So, other than the Chrysler, those will be for sale at some point too. Next up, we've got this big C-clamp. It came in a lot with some other stuff that I was interested in. But it is an Armstrong, and it's got the old classic Armstrong muscle logo. I would say somebody had a use for it. They made their own plates. But that should be a beast to clamp anything down I want to clamp down. I don't have a C-clamp that big, so this one will be staying in my collection. And we've got this Eagle oiler. I'm trying to bend the spout down a little bit. It doesn't necessarily. There, back on itself, that's fine. For when you want to oil your wrist. But it is an Eagle. I picked this up with a few other pieces from a marketplace ad this past weekend. Basically, the guy had a tool cart that I wanted, actually a medical cart that I wanted, but I thought would look good with the top toolbox that I got. And I got him to throw in this oiler and a toolbox full of like Pittsburgh and benchtop tools, and then a bunch of no-name Taiwan tools as well. A ton of wrenches and a whole Ziploc bag full of Craftsman for $10. More than he wanted for the cart, so couldn't pass it up. I don't have an oiler like this. Most of them I have are the small ones with the where you just push the bottom. And I think I have one actual pump one, but it's the smaller. I call it the Beehive. It's the kind of round, fits the palm of your hand, and has rings around it, and it's got a little trigger handle. I'll have to show you guys that at some point. And then finally, I think this was $10. That's a nice little Fulton vise. Really clean. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. The screw itself looks gummed up big time. And then the jaws, you can see, are a little bit out of alignment. And it does not want to turn for anything. So I'm going to have to get this guy apart. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the heck out of it with some penetrating oil and see if I can get it loosened up enough to turn and come apart easily. Yeah, got this from a local auction house that's run out of the back of our Meals for Wheels, so I think it's for charity. Like I say, it was $10, so thought it would be a cool little vise. I don't have any that small. The handle has definitely, someone thought it was a larger vise than it is. I will say that. So that's it for this lot. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that episode. That was a lot of fun. What was your favorite piece that I found? For me, I was leaning towards that blue Exolite, but I got to give the nod to the 48 Chrysler convertible. I've got the 4-door hardtop, but it's in the same color, so had to go with this baby, right? Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Burnout. I love you. There ain't nothing you can do about it. And remember to like, share, subscribe, click the buttons wherever they appear. There should be another video pops up over here someplace for you to watch. The algorithm picks something that thinks you're gonna like. Hopefully you do. Come over this way and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I will see you guys on the next one.